Obviously going to one of the toughest places to play in the league, at Arkansas, coming off a tough loss against Florida last night. They played well, especially down the stretch, last 6 minutes. They did a great job pressing and causing turnovers. And so we need to do a good job. They've got their point guard transfer from New Mexico, ninth in the country in assist rate. Does a great job assisting, doesn't turn the ball over, turns the ball over about one time a game, which is tremendous, obviously, for a point guard. They got two shooters in Joe and Jones. Jones is Matt Jones's brother from Duke. Two really good shooters, and then obviously they got a lottery pick in Gafford down low. So number two, who's from Louisiana, is a very good player for him at the 4. So they've got good players, good scheme. Always tough to play. You got to be able to handle the ball, handle their pressure. And we'll see how we react.
Were you happy in the Alabama game with the picks and screens?
Yeah, we were better. We were better. So I thought we had better movement. I thought we screened bodies a little bit better.
It's been a while since y'all been able to win a game on the road. Are you looking forward to getting that monkey off your back, or at least an opportunity to?
We'll see. We're gonna have to play better. So we're gonna have to play better on the road, and we'll see how we do.
How much of an emphasis did you place on the atmosphere of that place up there? I mean, you guys had success last year, but you don't think they'll be caught sleeping again on that?
Oh no, they'll be ready. The question is whether we'll be ready, but they'll be ready. So I think it's one of the top atmospheres in the league. They get to making threes and turning you over, and they start calling the hogs. They get going in there. They don't build on-campus arenas as big as Bud Walton anymore. It's just not the thing. But when it was built in the '90s or whatnot, they built it so big. Those weekend games are very tough up there. So it'll be a hostile environment. It's the first time we've gone on the road with this group in SEC play, so it's an opportunity there. But we're going to have to be a lot more connected than we were in our last road game. We're going to have to play with a lot better attention to detail and understanding that everything matters when you play on the road and when you play in those type environments. And we're going to have to compete for a full 40 minutes. It's not going to be 30 minutes, 35 minutes. It's going to be a full 40 minutes.
Leading on the way you did last year was kind of took a lot of people by surprise. Do you have to reinforce to the team? I know a bunch of them haven't been there before, but that it wasn't easy.
Last year has nothing to do with this year. So.
No, but the way you beat them.
We got to prepare. They got a totally different team. We've got a totally different team. They've got Gafford, a lottery pick, and so we've got to prepare for those guys. But what happened? Alabama beat us twice last year. That didn't have anything to do with whatever Tuesday night. So this there's very little carryover. Two different teams and a bunch of different players on the court. There'll be very few players for them that played against us last year. Let's look at it. Their top 9 guys, I think they'll have 2 guys that played against us last year, and our top 8 guys, I think we'll have 2 guys that played against them. So, there's not a whole lot that's similar there.
Second straight game, if Kamel should see a heavy workload, how prepared is he heading into this matchup?
We'll see. We got to put together back-to-back good games. Obviously, he played very well against Alabama, and we're going to need him to play very well against Arkansas in a tough matchup with Gafford. So, we need him to come through and play well back-to-back, and he needs to just continue to prepare well, continue to focus on the little things, focus on the details, watch film, do the extra preparation that he's been doing. That's given him the opportunity to have the success that he had, especially Tuesday night.
Did you just leave practice?
Yes.
Just wondering why you were so sour. I thought you would have been a little bit more pleased, I guess, with the way the team played and the success. Do you feel like there's some confidence growing with this club? And obviously coming off a win is better than coming off a loss.
Yeah, you got to hold your home court. But my expectations are a little different. I expect to beat Alabama at home. I'm not going to go slap myself on the back and slap the team on the back because we beat Alabama at home. That's the expectation here. And so I understand what we've got in front of us. This is going to be a brutally tough road game, and I've got to get through to our guys how important this is and how tough of a game this is going to be in this environment with the way they play. It's a big time challenge for us. They run a motion offense very similar to what Louisiana Monroe runs, except they've got Gafford down there who they can throw it to and score at any time. And they got really, really good shooters around them with Joe and Jones. And they got a kid Zero off the bench who can make it. And so it's a different game, different matchup, and I'm just on edge to make sure that we're prepared as we can be, and I'm worried about us reacting in this environment with the young group, because we kind of came unglued at Houston, and it'll be a similar type environment to Houston, but with a lot more people, and we've got to be able to hold together here.
Is that just part of the process of a young team is constantly reminding them you haven't arrived? I mean, that no matter what you do.
What have we done to arrive? I mean, we hadn't done. We're just kind of chugging along here. So, we've got to. We've got to certainly, make sure that our guys are grounded in reality of, hey, this is where we are, this is what's expected, and then we've got to move forward. But I mean, life on the road in the SEC. I know, as Tyler said, we hadn't won a road game in a while, but the reality was, last year of those road games we lost in the SEC, maybe South Carolina, maybe we were as good as them, or that was close to an even match. But I mean, we lost on the road at Auburn, who was light years better than us. Tennessee, who was, it wasn't like we were just dropping games to bad teams. Like we lost to teams that were quite a bit just better than us, frankly. And so, but life on the road in the league is very, very difficult. Some of the teams that were maybe in our weight class last year, Georgia, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, we also lost on the road to those guys, which we've got to shore things up and just play with a lot harder edge on the road, and understand what it takes to overwhelm somebody in their own gym. And I don't know whether we're to that point yet. We'll find out on Saturday.
Where did you find Cabell when you first started hearing about him?
Well, I knew about him when he was in junior college. When he was, he was the National Junior College Player of the Year. It's not like he was just some secret. He's tucked away in Wyoming, but I knew about him there. Usually, if you recruit junior college kids, which we do, you go to the national tournament and you keep track of the regional tournaments. And his regional tournament is very well attended and very good. And so, I knew about him there. I obviously knew we weren't going to get him when I was the head coach of VCU. And so, at that point, we just kind of tracked him at Oregon, and when he transferred, we were fortunate enough to get a visit. He visited us, Wichita State, San Diego State, and Baylor. I want to say, I think those four. And so we were just, we had a big need. He knew we were going to need him, and I'm proud of him. He's worked hard. He's gotten a lot better. His body's a lot better. He's a hard worker, and took advantage of the year off, and really improved. And I'm happy that he's playing well for us.
Is his effort something you can point to and tell the other guys to replicate? Is that something that
Yeah, he plays hard. He plays extremely hard. He gives it everything he's got. He gave a great first 3 minutes there in the second half, but he was so tired. He was so tired because he had played so hard. So that's what you want. You want him to play to exhaustion, and then you rest him for a little bit and put him back in there.
Cabell brings some physicality to this team. How have the younger guys, adjusted to SEC physicality versus non-conference?
Well, we'll see. It was one game. But Alabama's a long, physical team, and so I didn't think we got punked. So I think there was some positives there, but that's something we'll have to see over the course of the over a few games here in SEC play.
What's the biggest thing that has to go right for y'all to pull out a win on the road?
Oh, probably avoid turnovers. That's something they're very good at creating, and something we're very good at giving to other teams. So, you know, if we turned it over 16 times and beat Alabama, if we turn it over 16 times, we ain't winning on Saturday. That's you can write that in your game story. I mean, we're not winning on Saturday, 16 turnovers. So, we got to be able to value the ball and not toss it around the gym against their pressure. And if we do that and at least get a shot on the basket, I think we'll give ourselves a chance to win. But we got to avoid turnovers. We got to guard the three-point line. They shoot the three ball really, really well. They get a lot of energy when they, you know, talk about the building going crazy when they're creating turnovers and running out for threes and hitting threes. You know, the building goes a little wild, and so we got to make sure that we contain those areas.
Is Javante a guy that needs to start strong to play, or can he kind of pick up his?
No, I think he can self-correct a little bit. You know, we like it when he starts strong. We don't have to self-correct. That's obviously best, but I think he can self-correct a little bit. So we don't want to test that out on Saturday, but I certainly think he's got it. I certainly think he's got it in him and can do it.
With SEC play, obviously every game is important. Have you seen, I guess, a different level of focus from your guys at practice?
Boy, I wish. You know, I think we're, you know, our group's just kind of still feeling itself out. So, I wish I could say yeah, and we could sit up here and say it's all roses. But I mean, no, we're kind of just chugging along here. So, hopefully, what we've been doing will be good enough. I think we do need to raise our focus, and not necessarily raise our focus. We have to be able to sustain our focus for longer. We stay focused for 15, 20, 25 minutes in practice, and then we kind of lose it a little bit, and that's the way we are in a game. And so all that stuff translates. And so I wish we could stay focused longer. I don't think it's a lack of focus as much as it is just being able to sustain our focus and be a little more even with that. But we're going to need to do that. If we don't play 40-minute games, this league is unbearable.
What are you doing in practice to, I guess, match the intensity, physicality, I guess, of these past couple of players? And they really didn't want to even describe, you know, Darius is kind of laughing it off, like, you know Coach Wade, so has something changed in you lately to try to get them locked in?
I'm pretty much the same every day. What you see is what you get. No, I mean, we just play against, I mean, y'all think we're physical? Y'all keep asking about physicality. I don't think we're that physical of a team, but maybe y'all do. Y'all must see something I don't. I mean, I wish we were more physical, but we play against pads and length and things like that every day as much as we can. But I wish we were a little more physical than we are.
Do you expect to see more zone based on the?
Yeah, I would think so. Mike Anderson's not a dummy now. He knows what he's doing. He's won a lot of games between UAB, Missouri, and Arkansas, and he likes playing that zone. It's a good matchup zone. They got a good matchup zone, and we certainly spend a little bit of time today working on it. We'll spend a little bit of time tomorrow working on it. Spend some time in shoot around, and I think we'll be fine. But I would expect us to see more zone.
I guess without giving away your secrets, how difficult is it to defend Gafford? I mean, you saw him last year, but you know all your guys haven't.
He's really improved. You know, his last year was so raw. I think he's only been playing basketball since his sophomore year in high school. He hasn't been playing that long, and so I think that's part of the reason he came back was just to continue to develop. He's changed his body. His body looks better. He's just so much more fluid in the post. It's just more fluid. How he's playing in the post, how he's able to finish in the post, how he's able to score in the post. He's an elite offensive rebounder, elite rim protector. And he's got everything you need to be a first-round pick, lottery pick, which he'll probably be. So, I think he's, just a very, very talented player who's, just polished his game off a little bit, I guess would be the best way to put it. He's polished his game off. He's doing a great job catching the ball. And, one area that gets, he's the best. When I was at VCU in the NCAA tournament, we played Zeller when he was at Indiana. I thought that was the best college kid I'd seen rim running, like running in transition. And Gafford, I think, is as good as Zeller was. Just running rim to rim and his timing and getting dunks and things like that. So I think he's a very, very good player. And their staff's done a nice job developing him. They've obviously gotten him a lot better. The kids obviously worked really hard, and they've they've done a very, very good job with him.
You mentioned our point guard. He's got one of the best assist and turnover ratios in the country. What does he do well? Why is he so hard to?
We done turned over. I mean, he protects the ball. He's a bigger guard. Uses his body, gets into you. He's physical. He's able to protect the ball, and he gets the ball where it needs to be. It's on time. It's on target. They're very clean with the ball. They don't jitter the ball. They don't fumble the ball. They're very clean with the ball. They run a motion. The ball doesn't stick. The ball moves, and it all starts with the point guard. Good player.
Darius said that he felt the team had gotten a little comfortable recently, a little too comfortable. Do you agree with that assessment? And how important is it to kind of keep a team from keeping that comfort from kind of infecting the team whenever you are having success?
I don't think they're very comfortable after today.
No.
And I wouldn't suspect they're very comfortable after today. Yeah, I don't like comfort. You can't get better in comfort. If you're not stretching yourself, you're not going to get any better. So you can't get better and comfortable. So we need people uncomfortable, and so we've got to, constantly make sure that we have people uncomfortable, because when you're comfortable, you're not getting better. You're just staying the same. You got to change your best every day. You got to get a little bit better. What was good enough today is not good enough tomorrow. So you got to get a little bit better. So I don't like it when people have a comfort level there. So we've got to, we're working to make sure that's not the case.